Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Balaji Pimple. Today is going to learn about intellectual property rights. Now let's more on the next slide. Then content of IPR. IPR means intellectual property rights. First, introduction to intellectual property. Second, what are the intellectual property rights? Then patent, trademarks, industrial designs, copyrights and related laws, case studies and conclusion. Now let's move on the next slide and discuss one by one. First of all, introduction to intellectual properties. Intellect means mental power, and then intellectual property means intellectual property is a legal field that refers to the creation of the mind, such as musical, literary, and artistic works, invention and symbols, names, images and designs used in commerce, including copyrights, trademarks, patent and related rights. Intellectual property is classified as two categories. First of all, industrial property, and second is copyright and related rights. First, industrial properties. Industrial properties and intellectual property having direct relation to the industries is industrial properties. For example, invention, trademarks, industrial designs, geographical indication, patent, etc. And another part is copyrights and related rights. These rights have no direct relation to industries. This does not mean that copyrights cannot be used in industries. Several industries such as printing industries, software industries are dependent on or attached to copyright includes writing musical works, dramatic works, sound recording, and painting and drawing, etc. So now what are the intellectual property rights? Intellectual property rights means the holder of one of these abstract properties has certain exclusive rights to the creative works, commercial symbols, or invention by which it is covered. Another definition of intellectual property rights is intellectual property means the property which is created with intellect, and the legal conferred on such property are called as intellectual property rights. Rights which can be used protecting different aspects of an inventive work for multiple protection. Then outlined in Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. IPR means intellectual property rights are largely territorial rights except copyright, which is global in nature. Intellectual property rights can be assigned, gifted, sold and licensed like any other properties. Intellectual property rights are granted by the state to encourage innovation, invention and investment. IPR laws aim at safeguarding creators and the producers of intellectual goods by granting them certain time-limited rights for intellectual property. So we continue acts governing the various intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights as collective terms includes the following independent IP rights: patent, copyrights, trademarks, registered industrial design, geographical indication, and protection of undisclosed information. Let's study now collocative terms of intellectual property rights discussed in one by one. First of all, patent. Patent protects invention. Patent is considered a monopoly rights granted by the central government to the applicant, subjected to certain conditions or limited period time, 20 years, in lieu of full disclosure of invention. An exclusive right granted by a country to the owner of an invention to make use, manufacture and market the invention. The patent rights is territorial in nature. Patent provides incentives to individuals by recognizing their creativity, and these incentives encourage innovation. India is a member state of World Intellectual Property Organization, means WIPO, Paris Convention, Patent Corporation Treaty and Budapest Treaty. So why one should go for getting a patent? Patent is assumed a very great importance in all market-based economics since they provide necessary legal protection for newly developed products and processes. The basic idea behind the patent is to ensure commercial returns to the inventor for the time and money spent in generating a new product. Suppose if someone introduces his or her invention in the market without taking a patent, anybody can copy it and exploit it commercially. To debar others from exploiting the invention commercially, a patentee must go for getting patent. Now, an invention is patentable only when it fulfills novelty, non-obviousness, and usefulness. Then the patent can be classified as an independent patent and patent of an addition to some prior patent. Now let's move on the next slide, patent in India. The Patent Act 1970 number 39 of 1970 as amended by the Patents Amendment Act 2005. Patent offices under the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Patent offices are located at Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai and Delhi to deal with the applications for patents. PIS, Patent Information Systems, and second is IPTI, means Intellectual Property Training Institutes located at Nagpur. Then trademarks. Trademarks protects marks that are placed on goods to distinguish them from other works. Trademarks means a sign that individualizes the goods of its competitors. It is a sign which serves to distinguish the goods of one enterprise from those of other enterprises. Trademarks constituents as the shapes, pictures, slogans, colors, marks, logo, and symbol, etc. A distinctive sign that provides to the owner of the marks by ensuring the exclusive rights to use it to identify goods or services. Well-known associated trademarks, service marks, certification trademarks, and collective marks. Term of registered trademarks 10 years and renewable. To register a trademark, appropriate national or regional trademarks office WIPO administers an international registration systems for trademarks. Now, traders use the trademarks to distinguish his or her products or services from those of the competitors and serves to establish goodwill with the consumers. So, functions of trademarks. Functions of trademarks to identify the goods and their origin and to act as marketing and advertising devices. It is very useful of an competitive markets. Popular examples of the trademarks is Coca-Cola, Pepsi, SDFC and etc. Then industrial design. Industrial design is a process of design applied to products that are to be manufactured through techniques of mass production. Industrial designs, the ornamentals or aesthetics aspects of an article which may consist of 3D or 2D features such as a shape or surface, patterns, lines or color. It makes an article attractive and appealing, hence they add to the commercial value of products and increase its marketability. Industrial designs any technical features of the articles not protected by it. And industrial designers role in the product's development process is to establish the design language of an product as well as the corporate branding and identity. They are vital elements of the process because they have insight into market and trends and consumer preference. These are the information of that industrial design. Then geographical indication. A sign used as goods that have specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or a reputation due to that place of origin. The geographical indication it is such as goods or manufactured goods. One of the activities of production should take place in such territory, region or locality. For examples, Darjeeling tea, Kanjivaram sari, Lonavala chikki, Paithani sari, Kolhapuri slippers, Puneri pagdi. For this example of the geographical indications. Registration of geographical indications valid for the period of 10 years and renewable. The Office for Registration of Geographical Indications for whole of India is located at Chennai. The Geographical Indications of Goods, Registrations and Protections Act come into being in 2000s and imprisonment for a terms between 6 months to 3 years and a fine between 50,000 rupees to 2 lakhs rupees in act. Then copyrights. Copyrights means the protects expressive works. The copyrights is also known as the exclusive rights which is available for the creating an original literary or dramatic or musical or artistic works. Copyrights which is available for creating an original literary or dramatic or musical or artistic works in India. The Copyrights Acts 1957 as amended in 1983, 1984, 1992, 1994 and 1999 is available. Registrations can be done at the Office of the Registrar of Copyrights in New Delhi. Protection for the expression of an ideas, not for the ideas itself. In copyrights, the term artistic works covers a painting, a sculpture, a drawing or engraving or an photography, a works of an architecture and any other works of an artistic craftsmanship. To be continued, the copyright is protected for a limited period of time, generally for 16 years. In case of original literary, dramatic, musical and artistic works, the terms of copyright is author's life plus 16 years. Now, the owner may assign to any person to copyright, then giving owner incentives in the forms of recognition and fair economics reward increase their activity. So, the works is open for public inspections once the copyright is registered. Then, provisions of fair use in the law which allows copyright work to be used for teaching and research and development. Then case studies of intellectual property rights. First is Bangalore. August 10, 2003, Banashankari police arrested 3 software engineers for illegally copying software from a company they were working for. And another is case studies is Chennai. February 2000, pirated software worth Rs 1.11 crore was seized by the Chennai police. A total of 6 employees were arrested, which included the managing director of one outlet and proprietors of each of the outlets. Then, conclusion of intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights rewards creativity and human endeavor, which fuels the progress of humankind. Understanding the countries in intellectual property rights and following the best practice can drastically reduce the risk of losing and the company's intellectual properties. Indian government has initiated various steps towards intellectual property rights protection. These are the conclusion of intellectual property rights. So these are the some collective terms of intellectual property rights. Stop here and let's meet now upcoming videos. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.